Hi, I'm Gigi,
And I'm Mimi.
and this is Love Island Tea
Love Island Tea
Time.
Time!
This is All Stars 2026 Who's Together, Who's Not edition. hmm
Sipping iced tea today.
Oh, yeah, I've got my iced matcha. She's got her iced tea, starting in advance for any sipping noises. But
Yes,
let's
or
get
any
in.
clearing of the throat noises. I'm still recovering, guys.
She was dying yesterday. She literally slept the whole day.
Truly.
But let's get into it. I think egg on everyone's faces because out of the top five, there are three couples that lasted longer, and in particular, two couples that are still together that people straight up didn't believe in, thought were fake, blah, 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 blah. Meanwhile, as we are all very well aware at this point, the winners lasted about 3 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so sad. I feel bad for
What
Kieran mostly.
I do feel bad for Kieran. I do think that he really cared about her and was really all for her. But she dipped so fast. Now she's with Tyreek, Sammy and
Yes.
Tyreek.
Yes, the her in question is Sammy.
Oh man, just I like couldn't. I'm pretty sure that I laughed out loud when I heard that. It was like Sammy and Kieran are broken up 3 weeks after winning $50,000 for being Britain's favorite couple in love.
My jaw dropped to the floor when I found out because I definitely thought that they were so loved up and I thought that they were going to last a long while, especially because I think Kieran had some back and forth going on during his season, and
Yeah,
then he was really dead set on Sammy. I don't think Sammy ever wavered to the point where we were like, is she gonna turn her head?
no, she was
So
just fighting with Lucinda.
it was definitely shocking, and then to hear the news after of how Kieran really tried to save the relationship. I heard he like sent her flowers to the house. He tried to communicate to her a number of times and she was just like no, and she moved on to Tyreek right away.
Y'all vote for the wrong couple all the time. By
It
y'all,
seems
I
to be a
mean British
pattern.
public. Oh my God. Like, listen, it's been said a lot. Runners up, third place couples, even. There are people that usually have stronger chances. And I think it's that they vote for whoever presents the best, or they vote for like one person they really adore. For
Mhm.
example, the winners this year, I think they voted for them separately. I think people voted for Julia because they love Julia. I think people voted for Lorenzo because they love Lorenzo. Like, not necessarily actually thinking about this is Love Island. What couple is the most in love? What
Mhm.
couple like has had like the most amazing journey, whatever, whatever. Not that I think Jasmine and Kevin should have won. I don't know who should have won anymore, to be honest, because that's the end of that season got so messy. Um,
Yeah. I
yeah,
think
but
if Yasmin
oh,
and Tommy were still in the running, I think they would have had a really good chance of winning.
I thought they were going to be the winners. I thought Ellie and Finn were going to be the winners at one point. And if people didn't just hate Mika and Samraj, they were my winners, to be honest. I think Mika and Samraj were the most in love, had the most compelling journey. And I think this is also the problem is people like when everyone does things the right way, quote unquote, and stay super clean the whole season with the person they're with and with how they treat other people in the villa. But especially, for example, in this season of the couples that are still together of All Stars, the most recent season, Leanne and Scott and Lucinda and Sean did not necessarily do the things the right way. We're not necessarily the cleanest couple. The way Lucinda and Sean got together was super shady. But I think that usually when people are willing to do that on the show, sometimes it's because they're game players, but a good chunk of the time is because they don't care what anyone else thinks and they really like that person. Like, the way Mika and Samraj got together was, oh my God, we still are so drawn to each other. We don't know what to do. So they were talking behind Priya's back. Samraj said some not cute things. He admitted it later. Samraj can say some not cute things a lot. But yeah, I think that couples that go out of their way to get together are ones that
Mhm.
usually there's something really real there.
And I agree with you. Mika and Samraj, you took the names straight out of my mouth. I definitely think they have a really good chance at lasting because they actually took a risk. And I think sometimes when you take a risk, you get a reward.
Absolutely. That risk did not pay off for Millie and Zach, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Different countries, different vibes. They broke up in May, I think I had here. Yeah,
Which I
five
mean,
months.
we were just briefly chatting before we started to hit record about Millie and Zach and how I really wanted them to last as well because Millie seemed very comfortable and there was an attraction to Zach right away. I
Mm,
don't know if I necessarily feel the same from Zach. He
absolutely.
gave unsure.
He gave nonchalant.
Yeah, and sometimes you just want someone who's chalant.
Absolutely. I think that to me, I never fully trusted Zach personally. I think the chemistry was there, no question, absolutely zero question. But I do think trying to make things work between the UK and the US is a lot. I think that Millie is a star. She's done so much since she's come out of Love Island Villa. She's probably one of the more successful islanders. And I know they traveled together and they had a good time. But to me, the logistics didn't really line up. And to me, I didn't really think that he was going to go out of his way to make it work.
Mhm. Mhm. And this
Like
is where
good
the
time, not long time
logistics,
vibes.
yeah, this is where the logistics argument comes into play. And I think that's a fair argument to make when you're living in two different countries, for sure.
Absolutely. And also, it's like, it's one thing if Millie's like, oh, I've always wanted to live in Los Angeles. I want to move to Los Angeles. I think Whitney said that about Yemen, which is why I thought that they would last even longer than they did.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, it's just like, it's hard. It's hard when real life comes into play outside of the villa. Were they an amazing couple inside of the villa? Absolutely. But again, just he never quite had me fully on his side. Always on Millie's side, especially after she dumped Charlie. Icon, icon.
Mhm. Mhm. I'll never forget that. Everyone was like,
Never.
"What did she just do?" And she said, "I'm going to stand up for myself right now." Boom.
Absolutely loved it. Was obsessed
Mm.
with it. So then we have Whitney and Yemen.
Right?
They lasted about 6 months, maybe less, because people thought they were broken up. They said they were still together, and then they only just confirmed they broken up like a week or two ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, something like that.
Yes. And I think I did mention that on one of our previous episodes of the podcast where I thought they had broken up, but then you said that they didn't, but I guess that they did. And I just feel bad for Whitney as how do I put this? She had me and then she lost me after the whole Scott and Leanne situation. Uh but that doesn't mean that she doesn't deserve love either. And I do think Yemen was that balance for her. Again, logistics, and I'm sure she had expectations that maybe he wasn't quite meeting, and that's fair to not be together.
Yeah, I mean, I thought they were a good vibe. I thought they looked good on paper. I thought they looked good in photographs. It
Mhm.
felt like he really just respected her, and I just think it's probably more of a distance thing again. And but I do think both of these men are dumb because if they were smart, those women, they run in their business, they have their stuff together. You should be so lucky to wife them up and just, you know, live in that bubble of theirs because they're two amazing women, Whitney and Millie, and they both have so much going for them. And, they've got bigger fish to fry, and that's fine. That's fine.
It is. And Whitney is documenting her healing journey. She's all over my TikTok feed, just being like, I'm a bad bitch. It's okay to not feel okay. She's putting herself together. And Millie looks happy. She's just is vibing with her brand. I don't know what she makes, but I know she has a brand of some sort.
Let's see. Millie Quartz
But
brand.
yeah, she seems to be just
Jewelry.
thriving. There it goes, jewelry. Yes, because I definitely saw her and a friend promoting the brand. I just didn't know what it was.
Yeah,
But
she's
yeah,
got jewelry, and Whitney has wigs, I believe, is her thing.
uh, Whitney slays with the wig. They
Maybe I should
slay
get
the
me a Whitney
wigs
wig.
in the UK. I don't know how honorable mention, Angelista Swigs slayed the house down.
The
I
red
don't know.
one, the burgundy one.
Yes,
Ooh,
but
every time
like
she put that one on, I was like, yes.
just just the upkeep of it, you could just tell when people know how to
Hmm.
maintain that. It's just beautiful. I applaud both of them.
Icons. Should we get into honorable mentions of the other couples that didn't make it to the finals of All Stars but are definitely broken up?
Sure.
Um, um, this is crazy because I did not expect them to last, but it seems like Jack and Cher lasted a little while. They lasted for several months, would not have seen that coming at all.
Um, I'm looking to see who they are because I definitely
Cher is the
forgot.
one who almost broke up Scott and Leanne, and Jack is the ginger kid that baby daddies deserve love too.
Oh, wow. Okay. That is surprising.
Even this article from June on Capital FM says that they were still hanging out together even though they were broken up. So clearly they maintain some sort of friendship. Who knows what it's like now? This was crazy. Trying to find up to date articles on who's together from All Stars is almost impossible. Like all of them are from old, or all of them have like only one couple involved, but then it's like a lot of hearsay involved in them. So that's why we're not quoting a lot of articles, because it's a mess. Like I've got articles from Capital FM, Cosmo, The Sun, and The Tab all open.
Yeah. I don't have that many tabs open. I just have a few. But either way, I think it is hard. I mean, they're like relevant for a few minutes and then they're not anymore.
Yeah, yeah. Stuff changes quickly. That's real life. That's just real life. And also, we've talked about it. Some couples from Love Island stay together for the clout because they're famous for being in love. They're famous for being in the couple. So, really, who knows what truly goes on at the end of the day? Because I feel like, as we will discuss on our US episodes and when we talk more news, it's like a mess. It's just a
Hmm.
mess. We're going to get into some news at the end of this if you
Yeah.
want to hold on for that, just some general news. But I feel like so much has happened, it's hard to keep up. Um, but yeah, so Cher and Jack lasted a while. The article from the Tab says Jesse and Tommy were done a week after the final. Not surprised. I feel for Jessie because really everyone just hated her because of how she interacted with Lucinda, which I thought was crazy because Lucinda was really just playing the rage bait game, and Jessie fell right into the trap. And I felt a little bad for her.
I did too. Tommy, I will say, I he was touch and go for me for a while, and then I ended up just completely falling for him. I think he's so sweet, so young too as well. So he has his whole life ahead of him, and I think he just needs like a down to earth, sweet girl because that's who he is as well. I remember him being like super emotional during his season.
Yeah, he was nice. I think he could be kind of abrasive sometimes, but again, I think that was people he was hanging with on season 12. And
Mhm.
then, you know, it's it's all a lot. It's all a lot. I do feel for him though, because he really liked Lucinda, and then all that happened with his best friend, and that was part of why people hated Lucinda and Sean. But then, they really went for it. They really went for it.
Yeah, and
And then, oh, continue.
no, I just remember him exploring a bunch of different connections and none of them ever seemed right for him. So again, it doesn't surprise me that they're not together.
He was kind of the pre of his season, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
Absolutely.
Except for nicer.
Um, So then I'm still surprised they even last 6 weeks, Belle and Harrison.
Oh, I had to take a deep breath for that one because when that happened, I know we were all like, excuse me, ma'am? Ma'am? Because you're a ma'am in this situation.
Yeah, and still, it doesn't look great. I accidentally reported that she was dating this like 19-year-old or whatever, but apparently they're not dating. They're just making TikToks together and just rage baiting by acting like they kind of are dating, but not. But it's just still like, Belle, what are we doing? What are we doing? And she was like, no one can touch my crash outs. Ellie went and took your throne, babe. Snatched it right out of the air. Because all of them were justified as well.
Yeah, well, Ellie knows how to handle herself and conduct herself and communicate in a way that's very eloquent, but still like, yes, bitch, like you work that room. Belle was a little bit like, are you okay? Do you need I think you should take a second before you pop off.
Yeah, the very first time she popped off was justified, and then every time after that, it was like, but also she was yelling directly at people, whereas Ellie usually took it to the side.
Mm-hmm.
Almost every time. She had about 6 crash outs in private and then one in front of the entire villa. So it's like, oh, okay. We see now.
Yes. And Belle, I think I'm comparing Belle to Yulia because Belle couldn't stop coming after Scott and Leanne,
Yeah.
and Yulia couldn't stop coming after everyone else that wasn't herself.
Listen, I don't even want to get into the Yulia thing because it's just like, let's wait and see. Let's wait and see what happens. We'll get
Yes.
to it then. Um, but yeah. And also, the other couple Belle was mad at was Sean and Lucinda.
True.
And I'm so glad Belle and Harrison are the last we're talking about and Belle crashing out because who are the two couples that are still together this very minute? Sean and Lucinda and Scott and Leanne.
Yes. Well, I will say I was on that train of like the Lucinda and Sean train of they're not gonna last. They're just
So was
they
I.
can't. Yeah, we both were. We were like, they're not gonna make it. Like, look at them, they're a mess, but they're still loved up. He's selling candy on the internet. She's trying the candy.
I think he's obsessed with her.
And what did he
Victoria
say?
say
Yeah, what did Victoria say? It's always better when the
man should be
man is
obsessed.
obsessed. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. Um, and that is tea. That's absolute tea. I'm just so glad they prove people wrong. And this is why I was kind of still like, I'm still to this day back and forth on Priya and Aiden together
Hmm.
because Priya and Aiden had similar vibes to Sean and Lucinda where they just laughed together constantly. And so to me, that's like a great foundation for a relationship because my number one thing is I absolutely do not have any vibe with anyone. I literally almost did a straight up U turn on a way to a date once because I suddenly realized me and this guy had had 2 conversations, long conversations. I was working behind the bar. He pulled up, and then another time I was serving his table, and we had like chatted a bunch. He invited me on a date, and I was like, okay, well, I like this that like he met me twice. He didn't ask me out on a date right away. I kind of got his vibe. He's cute, whatever. And then I was on the way to the date, and I was like, oh my god, I just realized he has not made me laugh once. 2 whole conversations has not made me laugh once. I was like, this is bad. I was like, this is bad.
Yes, and this is a fact. She did. I think you FaceTimed me on your way to the date and was like, I don't know. He hasn't made me laugh, so we'll see how it
This
goes.
is bad news. Bad news.
Yeah.
And then I got there and made one joke, and he immediately burst into peals of laughter. And I was like, that isn't even my funniest joke. Like, that was a really bad joke. Most of my friends would have fried me for making that joke.
Mm.
Like, come on. I was like,
You
oh
never
no.
Did he ever make you laugh on the date? I don't think we ever revisited it because it was
No,
not
he
important.
didn't. He didn't. He did make me laugh once on the date. I still gave it the benefit of the doubt. We went to a second location. We went across the street to a bar, and I dipped out early and went and got ice cream by myself.
And sometimes that's just the way.
Shout out to
Period.
Milk Bar. Standing alone in Milk Bar at 11:30 at night, getting ice cream. Oh, but yeah, that's why Priya Praden. I knocked the straw right out of my matcha. But yeah, Praden, Lucinda, and Sean, I get it. I see similarities there where they're just like laughing and laughing and laughing whenever they're together. So it's a good foundation.
Yeah, and Aiden made some great points of like they started off as friends. You have to give it time to like develop those feelings, admit to those feelings, act upon
Mm,
those feelings. I do think there was a lot of sexual chemistry between them.
mm,
Obviously, they went to the hideaway, but they seem to be still hanging out outside the villa. And if they end up getting together, then I won't be mad at it because then it'll prove
yeah,
everyone wrong that they weren't game players.
right, right. And then also, I think that sometimes they talk about this. I don't really know who's correct, but maybe Aiden was confusing like the chase and the spark and the butterflies and whatever for, or like not having those feelings for not having feelings. You know what I mean? Because it wasn't those
Hmm.
feelings. And sometimes people say that's just your nervous system being deregulated by someone who actually sucks,
Yeah.
or by someone who's actually being avoidant and you getting high on that feeling instead of getting high on just someone being cool and nice. And
Mhm.
sometimes that's the person you actually end up with, is someone who's just cool and nice and doesn't feel dangerous, doesn't feel hyper exciting, like, you know what I mean? And maybe that was what was going on for Aiden, is he's just used to having a particular type of feeling of love towards someone when actually it wasn't necessarily sustainable or healthy. And maybe the way he feels about Priya is more sustainable and healthy, and he just hasn't gotten to being like totally obsessed with her yet.
Right. I think Aiden works a lot off of the feeling of lust.
Yes.
And it wasn't very lustful with Priya. I mean, maybe at one point, but I think his feelings for her were actually legitimate. I just
Yeah,
didn't think it would work in the villa. Maybe it would work outside the villa. Maybe Kevin will be wrong and it'll work better outside than it did inside because you have so many people feeding into your relationship on the inside.
absolutely. Absolutely. And Sean and Lucinda gave zero fucks about that. They were like, okay, we really like each other. And we were all like, do you? And
Yeah,
apparently
but
they do. They look really cute. They look like they're vibing. I was looking at pictures trying to put together like a post for this pod, and I was like, dang, they look loved up.
they do. And I will say, I don't think Aiden cares so much, but Priya definitely cares about other people's opinions. So I think that really factored into a lot
Yeah,
of her decisions.
absolutely. You know who else doesn't really care about other people's opinions? Leanne and Scott.
Our A1 couple.
Obsessed. I said it, and I'm so it's always so nice to be proven right, because I feel like most of the time when I watch Love Island, my couple that I end up rooting for and really adoring, not all the time, sometimes I'm wrong. I have been wrong, and I will continue to be wrong sometimes. Because again, number one couple, number one couple that I think will last, Samraj and Mika.
I back that
That's a
100%.
couple I think will actually really last. But Scott and Leanne were my people, and I was living for scraps this all-star
Hmm.
season. Like randomly you'd see them in the corner chatting, you'd see him like carrying her into the house when it was time to get ready for bed, like in the little montage bits you'd randomly see them hugging and kissing or whatever in the background, and I would be like, give me more of them, because they were so happy. And i just I think that it's okay to not make someone your girlfriend or exclusive in the villa. And I think that if someone is really willing to not do that and say, I want to do that on the outside with you, to me, that's less of a gameplay, because
Mhm.
doing it inside the villa is kind of going like, well, for the steps of the show and to show people I love you, I have to do it here. You know,
Yeah.
all these couples that become boyfriend, girlfriend, or say I love you in the last 2 weeks, it's always like, do you really love each other, or are you doing it for the show?
Yeah, that's a big question on a lot of people's minds. That's how I felt about Lorenzo when he pulled that stunt. Um, but I didn't think there was a problem with Scott and Leanne. They were both on the same page of just like, we don't want to be boyfriend and girlfriend in this villa. We want to wait and experience the outside world. That's a legitimate argument to make.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
he he kind of explored, quotes around explored a little bit. He definitely needed to work on his communication. Leanne also needed to work on her communication. But I
Yeah,
think these issues clearly have been
worked out.
worked out because they're just they're a beautiful couple, both of them.
Absolutely. He looks absolutely obsessed with her. Their little trips are so cute. Every time I see photos or videos of them together, I'm like, look at them.
I know them going to Iceland like they had planned.
Those are my all stars. Those are my all stars forever and ever.
Mm-hmm.
But also, Scott is like hands down my favorite male Islander, probably.
Producer Scott.
Love producer Scott. It's hard to say, but yeah, it's crazy that the most villainized and doubted couples of All Stars 2026, longest lasting, and we'll see how long they continue to last. It'd be really exciting if we get to All Stars and they're still together.
Yeah, I hope so.
I hope so too. And that's the tea.
And that's the tea.
So, thanks for joining us for our first non episode topic episode. We're not just talking about a breakdown of an episode and our thoughts and opinions. We're going to continue to do this if you love it. But if you would rather us rewatch seasons, we're open to that. Hit us up, let us know, because we will. I think I'm going to put a poll up on our Patreon today or tomorrow about what you would rather hear from us, especially since I don't think we have anyone signed up quite yet. But we do have a Patreon. We would love to hear your reviews, thoughts, opinions. You can drop a review on Apple Podcasts. You can leave comments on Spotify. And you can also reach us really easily in the DMs on TikTok and Instagram. Mimi, where can they find us on those?
You can find us at Love Island Tea Time on Instagram or TikTok. And if you feel like following us on X, we are at capital Li Tea Time Pod. On our Instagram, you can find our link tree where we have all the links you need.
That's right. Also, I misspoke about news because I meant news is coming in another episode. It was in a previous episode. I'm so sorry. We're doing news like every other week is the plan, because we're pre-recording some. Like, this episode's probably coming out later than that. So this isn't the first one. I'm sorry. We're figuring it
Just
out,
stop.
guys.
Just stop it.
Anyway, you'll hear from us from when you hear from us. We love you guys. Thank you for listening.
Bye.